Hi, everybody. Coach Allison back, and I have week 36 Defy Aging. This week also starts a new warm up and cool down for the next 2 months, so something else to look forward to, changing it up there. This week is a little bit different. So you're going to be working in your own space with your own equipment. We do that occasionally. You're going to be working for 25 minutes on this routine. The thing that's kind of different with this is the reps that we're going to be doing for each set. So they're going to be, this routine is just called random reps, and we're going to be kind of jumping all over with the rep ranges that you're going to be doing with each set. So I can't even remember it. I have to have my little cheat sheet here, and it will be noted up on the board, so you can refer to the board. But the reps you're going to do for each set go as follows: 6, 3, 10. 4, 8, 5. So it's kind of so random that your body's not going to be able to get used to going from a high rep count down to a low rep count, or vice versa, starting at a low rep count and then going to a high rep count. It's really, as you could tell, it's really random. So for what that means is, so round one, every exercise you do has 6 reps, and then round 2, every exercise you do has 3 reps, and then round 3, every exercise you do has 10 reps, and so on with that list of the rep ranges. So that's what's really different this week with our routine. Again, it's in your own space, at your own pace, so take breaks as needed. We do this for 25 minutes, so if you don't get done with all of the designated sets, that's okay. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's review our 6 exercises. Okay, so this first one has 3 exercises in one, okay? So I would suggest picking a weight that is good for a shoulder press. So maybe might be on the lighter side. So it's a sumo hammer curl overhead press. It's a lot of things together, right? So your sumo squat is the wide squat. So step nice and wide, angle those toes out a little bit. And while you do your sumo squat, you're going to need the weights to be in the center because they just don't really hang anywhere else very comfortably. Neutral grip, so palms stay facing in, so don't turn them like this or anything like that. So we do our sumo squat, keep those knees tracking outward, don't let them cave in at all. Sumo squat, come up with a hammer bicep curl, and then we're going to do an overhead press. All the while, those palms have always been facing in, even as I'm doing my curl and my press. So sumo, hammer curl, neutral grip, overhead press. And you keep it going. Sumo, one more time. Hammer curl, overhead press, okay? So, kind of kill 3 birds with 1 stone on that one. So that's our first exercise. Next one is on the floor. It's a glute bridge with a chest press. You're going to be raising the glutes and the hips as you do your chest press. So on the floor on your back, palms forward. You can dip your elbows down to about a 45 degrees. Okay, feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Excuse me. As you know, our glute bridge is this movement here, and our chest press is this movement here. We're going to do those at the same time, however. So we lift the glutes and press the arms, and we lower down. Slow and steady, so you keep good control. We don't want to do either of these too fast, so we lose any control. And when you put those weights down, put them down like this. That's just the shoulder safety for you. So that's our glute bridge plus the chest press. Anybody staying off the floor, I think the best alternative for this is to bring a bench into the space, and possibly an incline bench is better. And we're going to do the chest press on the bench. That does take the glute component out of it. If your coach can maybe figure out a way to jerry rig maybe putting a platform near the foot of the bench to put your feet on to incorporate some sort of a glute bridge in that. But off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure on that. So incline chest press will be the alternative for that. And third exercise, plank toe taps. Standard elbow plank. Okay, so hips are level and elbows are directly under shoulders. We want to look out for the hips not being too high. And we're going to tap the toes out like so. And the count is each side separately. So for example, our 3 rep count will be 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. That's how you would count that. There isn't a knee option for this particular plank variety. So an alternative for this would be an incline only. So if needed, we'll come up to an incline plank. Again, we still want elbows directly under shoulders. What I mean by that is look out for this, which gets your hips up way too high and the elbows are no longer directly under your shoulders. So how do you fix this? You just kind of do a shift with your body, and that's what incorporates the core muscles. And then we can still do our toe taps. Okay, so that is our plank toe tap, either on the floor or up on an incline. Skaters is the next exercise. We haven't had these in a very, very long time. Lots of ways to do these. I will start with one option and then kind of go progressions from there. Okay, so one option is take the toe, bring it behind. Notice I'm getting sort of a hip turn here, so we have to do a little bit of a hip turn, and I'm tapping the toe behind me. I'm keeping my body relatively upright. So the count would be 1, 1, 2, 2, adding a little speed and intensity here. Okay, a progression from that is getting a little bit lower. See how I'm getting my foot farther back behind me. I'm gonna kind of start reaching my hand in the direction of the floor. Okay, that's a progression. Starting to make the movement bigger, more intense. Gotta check around me. Another progression is really I'm just amplifying it every time. Now I'm gonna start getting a little bit lower still. I'm even reaching that foot farther and farther back behind me. Okay. Now, hardest level, I'm gonna add an actual hop between sides. I'm actually gonna connect my hand to the floor because I'm going to get that low. This is the hardest way to do it, and I'm gonna keep my body down pretty low. I'm not gonna come up between each one. I'm gonna stay low. Okay, I'm actually touching the floor, my body is staying low. See how I'm actually kind of hopping side to side. That's gonna be an all-out true speed skater exercise. Whew, even just those 5 or 6 I did, got my heart rate up. The count, I think I said this in the beginning, and now I can't remember. Count each side separately, so 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So that is our skater. Pick the level that works for you. Progress as it's appropriate. 3-point row is the next one. It's a back exercise. It's called 3-point row because you have 3 points of stability or connection. So your 2 feet and 1 hand on a stable surface. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and keep your back nice and flat. Even if I was on something a little higher like this, my back should still be flat. So it doesn't matter how high your stability surface is. Your back is just, as long as it's not just a rounded back like this, that's what we need. So back flat, and pull that dumbbell up and slightly back towards your hip bone. So we're not bringing it up here to like the upper rib cage, down here by the hip bone. Get a little bit of a rotation with your upper body, a little bit. So it's not excessive like this. We don't want to do something that big, but just a little bit of a rotation. Exhale on the way up, control the way down, and that is our 3-point back row. Of course, do each side separately. So count each side, reps on each side. 6th exercise in the circuit or in the set or in the routine. Goodness, my words. Dead bug. We did a dead bug variety 2 weeks ago. No equipment for this, but there is something very important I want to point out. We want to make sure the starting position is both knees pulled kind of all the way into my chest. So it's pretty comfortable, the starting position like this. We don't want to, if we keep them too far forward like this, it's possible that it's going to create too much strain on your psoas, which is kind of your hip flexors here, and your lumbar, your lower back. So we want to kind of support that lower back by pulling those knees in. So a little safety note there. And then the arms are up, and this is our starting position. A lot of coordination here, so get ready. We're going to take one leg and the opposite arm and extend those 2 limbs and bring it back in. Again, that starting position is those knees tucked really far in. And then the opposite arm and leg. Okay? A lot of coordination. Don't go for speed. We're not going for speed. What I see happen a lot is the arm that's supposed to remain stationary tends to want to go down like this. See how I now brought my arm down? And we want to not do that. Bad. So try to keep the arm and the leg that are stationary, try to keep them actually stationary. Takes a lot of focus. Okay? Now, if you are feeling any like overly sensitive lumbar, lower back, or it's just too intense in the lower back, another variety here is keeping the feet on the floor. See how I'm now keeping my feet on the floor? And then I'm still extending that one leg at a time. But what this is now doing is that foot that I'm keeping on the floor is offering some support and some stability. So the first way that I showed you, tucking the knees in, this is definitely almost a progression, almost a more advanced option. So perhaps I maybe should have showed you the feet on the floor first and said that this is a progression. So if you are feeling, it feels like it's just too intense on that low back to keep those feet off the floor, definitely go ahead and keep one foot on the floor. Oof, my hair. Alternative for anyone staying off the floor is like this, hand, elbow or hand to opposite knee. So we're still getting that core work, that opposing side cognitive component. We're still getting that little crunch in the abdominals. So it's really very similar. Actually, you're getting an added bonus by working the balance. Exhale. So that's going to be your alternative for anyone staying off the floor for our dead dog. Team Builder is a grapevine relay. 2 teams, even amount of people in each. Their coach might have to jump in to even things out. Each person is going to go the length of the turf down and back once, and the first team to have everyone completed first wins, and it's going to be a grapevine. We've done this with a shuffle before. I haven't done grapevine for quite a few weeks, so it's, man, I wish I could get more of my body in the frame of the picture of the camera, because it's hard to show you in just 2 steps. There we go. But it's one foot goes behind and then in front, behind, in front. And then I'll show you this way. The goal is to try to get it going fast. Again, I can only show you a few steps. The trick with the grapevine is you have to let your body be nimble. Is that a good word for it? Because you have to let your hips do a lot of swaying and twisting, okay? If you're too rigid and you're trying to stay really rigid and strict with your hips and your feet are just trying to go like this, you're going to, it's first of all not be able to go as fast, but you're going to kind of stumble and tumble and trip over your feet. But if you allow your hips to open and kind of turn and twist, now I'm able to really let my feet and my legs cross over one another. So practice that. It's actually really fun. It's a really good agility drill that is, and a little bit of cardio too, but that's the purpose behind this. So yes, our grapevine relay for our team builder. All right, that's week 36, new warm up, new cool down. Hope you enjoy those new movements, and I hope you enjoy this random reps routine for this week.